Namaste. Today I am wearing the Indian dresses. Yes, it's special. Today I have extraordinary background in front of you. Soon, in India coming the big festival of Diwali. Many people symbolize this festival with New Year. In this festival, abundance and arrival of the goddess Lakshmi. Happy Diwali to all my friends. I wish you happiness, good health and prosperity. Don't look for me because I have some sneezy, but I think it's not will be problem to you and to be a little bit fun. And today I want to present the theme of the forehead and take a pause from face reading for a little bit. Go to healing and the topic that worries us all and is probably a noun. This global schizophrenia of society in today's day is COVID. But about this is in the next issue. I don't want to spoilish my time for these things. I will provide you with some translations, very interesting facts. I have kept since March month, and then I will introduce you with new topics about face reading, a mole, and some good signs in your face that I didn't tell you before. Interesting riches abundance in our face to stay with me, and you won't have to miss this. Forehead is a style of thinking. Forehead is a zone of consciousness, the zone of human ideology. On the forehead, we can read a person's consciousness, a way of thinking a person. Forehead shows the moral qualities of a person. And also in Chinese face reading, we can see on the forehead the relationship we can understand to parents, to friends, and what happens to us from 14 years to 30 years. What a childhood we had in this place of the forehead in folds. We can also determine the number of children. A lot of information gives us the height of the forehead, the width and the forehead, and lines, wrinkles, and folds on the forehead. And if a person is dominated by the upper part of his forehead, then this is a very smart and talented person. Forehead informs us in the style of solving any problems before a person and his approach to solving these problems. Remember Albert Einstein's forehead, big and wide, so he was so genial. By age we can observe 2 wrinkles on the forehead. How to interpret them? The more a horizontal wrinkles the forehead, the more hobbies or directions a person has. If you see that there is only one horizontal line on the forehead, it means that a person will have one in his life. This is the only goal that a person can carry his whole life. The first thing we can see in the bulge of the forehead. You have a forehead diagram in front of you. The upper part in the center in the ego zone. If you see bulges in part of the folds, this is assembly. Rendering excess memory is temporal area. Here. Assembling is here. And the Mercury zone in the very center on the porch. But now I tell you everything about all this spot. Operational memory. A zone of temples. From this area we can determine the baggage knowledge of the person that he can perform function. The more convex this place, the more vocabulary in a person. He carries more knowledge with him. This is like the bulk of knowledge that a person carries with him. And when he needs him to use it quickly and quickly, in self-defense people, this part is convex. assembly zone. If there is a bulge, at this place a database is collected and some capabilities are constructed. Assembly points are the ability to technical solve issue. In people of technician, this part of the mind is very development. This is how to assemble incompatible parts and assemble something new. One picture I want to see, Sushant Singh, he has amazing assembly zone. The zone of Mercury in Chinese face reading, this is a palace of hope. The wider this place, the better, the greater the potential of a person. The Mercury zone is a zone of today, a concern for material wealth. The wider, the more inherent the person is the role of the boss. Like photo of Gagarin. If we see dark some spot in this place, then this is our stagnant processes. Most of all, this happens between 27 and 40 years in Chinese face reading. I told you before, you can just check again. If by 27 people begin the rise of their creativity, then around 40 years it's coming, the person beginning in crisis period. If there's a depressions of dark spot. And the ego zone is the center, at the top of the forehead, like a bulge. This is our ego that requires self-approval, which breaks into the outside. Not a good sign if a person is engaged in sensory or some spirituality practice that are not fully studied in. It's better to stay away from such people because he does it solely to assert himself. Until some period he goes to according to knowledge, and then all this knowledge goes like an oblique one to the determinate of this person and the environment to which he gives knowledge. I really want to show a photo of some spirituality leaders, but I don't want to offend their environment. Be more observant in the election of spirituality teacher. Look at this ego zone. If it's some bulge, please stay away. The more convex it is, the more selfish person is. Mercury zone. We have horizontal and vertical wrinkles. For example, if we see vertical wrinkles on the forehead, then there is a great responsibility and concern about business. Here and now, a person has a lot of problems. The number of wrinkles depends on the deeds in which a person has invested his energy and strength. And also when people frown in this way, you can count the number of children. I talk, this is about in my courses classes, not now. And this some picture in front of you. And some example for Solzhenitsyn's photo I won't show to you. He has a large scars, so deep from right side. And to watch this scars from the right side, and if we consider this from the point of view of vertical wrinkles, then hypervolatility is here. The mass of energy is invested in society. That something hurt him so much that he bore personal responsibility. At the age of 26, he had his first arrest. From the age 26, and his life went like American roller coaster. And horizontal wrinkles most like fall for 40 years. These horizontal wrinkles show routine worries. If a person occupies a high position, then his indispensability in the team. Sometimes he can react aggressively to something, but a person takes responsibility for himself and leaves his point of view. a hyper-responsibility person. It can condemn someone rudely, not dependent on the role of a person in society. For him, everyone is equal. A person in a ward can beseech anyone. They don't know how to hold back anger. This, for example, I will show you. And we can find a musical bump on our forehead. This is kind of the performing part round. The presence of this pinch speaks of musical perceptions. You can see here in the picture in front of you that the person has fundamentally development hearing. By example, I want to show you several people, musicians, and you just can observe. People with musical hearing are different. They are like dolphins who can hear thousands of kilometers in radius from themselves. Look like Michael Jackson. He has a musical bump just located in the ego zone and a little bit up. He is very ambitious. Therefore, musical hearing in the location of the ego zone is like a super perceptions of sound. The ego in the center and clearly coincidence with the ego of a person, but almost is coming here. Whereas you can see profile and can clear found this in people. I just observed few people in India of musicians and picture in front of you. Hair growth line. The first options when the forehead is open. The bigger the forehead, when the hair opens most of the forehead. They say that a person without a frame, it's left to itself, courage and recklessness. Most of all, an open forehead can be observed at the stuntmen and the astronauts, look like in the picture. And the second option is hair growth. It's like the letters M. This is an artist sign, artistly playfulness. A person with such a sight must definitely shine somewhere, performance and be among the public. They live by recognitions. Here on the forehead, it's a forehead getting a little less than usually. How the hair begin to grow in the forehead area and the forehead decrease. This suggests that a person has a strict upbringing of life. Enter the parents, maybe before either the parents kept the child with the framework or a poor origins, a benevolent person, a lack of pride, a person has passed the test of life and fits everything very frankly. Forehead hair growth, line frame things youth. A person lives on them. More often this occurs in East people. A low forehead indicates the joyless years of childhood and youth. For these people, it's important to realize as early as possible that they should not rely on someone else's help. As a rule, they are conservative and blindly adherent to traditions. Therefore, it's difficult for them to take a new hack. And people with such a forehead avoid talking about their feelings, so very often they report them in the writing. A lot of information gives us the shape of the forehead in the profile. So many things that first one can see. There is a straight forehead. Yes, you can see your face in profile and look where is it 90 degrees, of course it will be straight. The most honest and decent people, such a person, exquisitive, obedient, kind, In general, a director forehead suggests that a person prefers to build in his own life despite the plans of his parents or family tradition. He rarely listens to information from outside and relies more on his logic and common sense. People with a flat forehead struggle to make decisions, but this is slow natural. However, tend to get involved in an independent business that carries a high degree of risk. They don't get along well with their superiors. Their constant struggle for their rights and tendency to intervene in everything often turn them into single fighters. In number 2, in additions, people with a flat or concave look like a little bit this one. Forehead have very unstable ideas about morality. They doesn't have ego and ambitions. Gifted with creativity, fantasy, they often put their ideas into practice. In this case, they are successful. And for example, just a second. Okay. And another forehead look like Sushan Singh's. If you see such a form or forehead, see it's not straight, it's a little bit on the corner. In front of you is a real genius, a man with a good memory, with original thinking, and he will find a way out of any situation. This is a military genius, excellent politician. If it's a thief, he will be a specialist in his field. He will take a risk anytime. For example, you see Stalin and some people of chess, yeah. And if this will be more corner, look like the slope of the forehead speaks as Stalin almost, yeah, of impulsivity, unpredictability. There is no sincere of self-preservation. They are constantly ready to strike, and their lives on full program, adrenaline, quick reactions, and quick thinking. This forehead of the chess player that I show you in front of you, and just you can observe, this is 2 boys. They have, this is both slope forehead. This is speaks of great personality possibilities. And next, number 3, yeah, a little bit smooth or rounded forehead. Chinese interpreters consider a smooth or rounded forehead the most favorable form. People with such forehead are distinguished by clear thinking, mind, and the ability to take decisions, decisive actions. They have a special talent to always be in the right place at the right time. This is a flexibility enough character. Oh, sorry, I'm not sure. Okay. And as I told you, flexibility enough character to adapt without wasting itself on untable compromise. However, these people can be blinded by their own splendors, which give them a total arrogance. Both in their personality lives and in their work, they should not silently tolerate failures. They can be sure of the support of friends and loved ones. Thanks to flexibility of the character, they are open to everything new, so they are guaranteed success. Another stroke is that these people do not tend to rest on their laurels. And number 4, and the convex forehead say that it's a person there's a huge potential obtained from architectures. Perhaps in form a hobby or maybe in form of main occupations. But sooner or later a person comes to the activity that His characters very engaged in. A man with a convex forehead may not seem from this world. Thanks to an easier and more creativity approach to life, this is people gets everything like a joke in passing. They have a rich imaginations, original thinking, and the clumsy openness of hard system work. And last, I want to tell you about microgest of the forehead. If a person scores of trashes the random access memory zone, he is looking for an answer in his knowledge file. If there is a place to build, he is trying to put all the data together to figure out what is wrong. It's a dangerous gesture. The intellectual does not believe you, but does not yet understand what exactly. Therefore, it brings together to confront you. If a person traps the Mercury zone, a point close to the portable, everything is bad for him. So, if he promises you to golden mountains, don't believe him. Rubbing to the ego zone suggests that the self-love of the intellectual is impaired. Therefore, if your plans do not include an injuring a person, or gently smooth the situations, compliment him, something about good or change subject. Scratching the back of the head suggests that a person wants support in the form of an extra knowledge and experience at his subconscious and intuitive level. He has vague guesses that he has not yet put together. If you don't want him to come up with something urgently, but very indefinitely distract him from these questions, do something else, talk something else for different subject of it. And it's all for today. I wish you again happy Diwali to bring happiness, good health and prosperity to your home. Happy Diwali. Namaste.